Them to brace, we put in Lisa in the place. Now there, red on your finger and red in your hat. Show me your finger
Ladies and gentlemen, as we welcome your future representative, Lisa, let me hear you say, Lisa Joahe.
Je laisse ça. Just buy ça. T'as l'année l'autre show qui a commencé. Changez pour switch.
Pleasant good morning to all my viewers on Facebook. We're not on TV, right? Let me welcome you to People First. I have my technician here with me, Nigel Nicholas. Oh, it's an honor to have him as my technician here this morning. This show, as I've told you last week, it's a short show, half an hour, just to highlight some of the achievements of the government, the St. Lucia Labour Party-led administration. And I told you before, it may not be as sexy as the real issues or Meet the Minister, because we are going to be focused strictly on the achievements and some of the things that we have done and what we are doing. There'll be no sideshow. It will just be about our achievements. And I told you we began with education. It doesn't mean that I will not segue into other things as they come up. But we need to remind you of what it is that is present. We discussed the laptop issue last week, and I explained to you how important and impactful that little gesture was. Every secondary school child in St. Lucia, and I mean every, regardless of race, color, political affiliation, the parents, because most of our children yet, they are underage, they are not yet 18, they cannot vote. They are our responsibility. They have a right. Education is a human right. And we are ensuring that all our children are equipped for the future. There is no discrimination. You saw Fortuna Belrose, I showed you a clip of her. The exponent, she gave life to the Belrose doctrine. She voiced it. And I showed you a clip where she was actually demonstrating the Belrose doctrine in effect, using state funds to discriminate against our youth. I'll not show that again. That is past tense. You have that. I circulated that. Most of you have that. We don't do that in the St. Lucia Labour Party. Our policies are geared towards every single child. We don't ask who your parents support, what church they go to. Nothing of that sort. As long as you are a child of St. Lucia, you benefit from the policies of the St. Lucia Labour Party. This morning, I'm going to focus on maybe one or two things in passing, because there is so much. I'm making a rookie mistake. I'm forgetting to mute my phones. There is so much that this St. Lucia Labour Party, led by the Honorable Philip Joseph Pierre, so much that they have done. And we must remind you, because a vote against the St. Lucia Labour Party, a vote against this government is a vote against progress. It's a vote against yourself. And so I'm going to ask my technician to put picture number 1 up. And I'll tell you why this is important. We are in December into October. And as far as I'm aware, registration for CSEC CXC, I think, is beginning or has begun. I need to verify that because that's around the time when parents are asked, to trump up. You have to go to the bank. Some of them, you go to the credit union to take a loan. Some of you have as much as $600-700 to pay. The deadline is December. And it's a rough time for many of you. But I'm not getting my link there. I want to see that. It's on screen, hopefully. Come this point in time, I tell you, there's always a method to the madness. Yeah, method to the madness. Come this point in time, when you have to go to the school to register, you'll be given a slip. On it says pay to the accountant general. I think the account number 930 something. I am forgetting the rest of the digits, and they'll list the subjects you pay. This time, ladies and gentlemen, this time, it's up there. I'm not seeing it on my thing. It's up. You will see that 4 CSEC subjects will be paid. Not just for supporters, children of the St. Lucia Labour Party. No. 4 CSEC subjects will be paid for every fifth former. Now that's a chunk of change. I'll have to go to my phone because I'm not seeing it on the screen. I don't know why this is 4 CSEC subjects. Now, I believe the math there's a little fuzzy, in terms of the amount. It's a chunk of change. So, let me use this word very loosely. It's costing you. But you see, the Prime Minister, that's real ching-ching he's putting back into your pocket. Real ching-ching. Real ching-ching back into your pocket. And so, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, supporters of the St. Lucia Labour Party, supporters of the Flubbo side, you will be saving that. And the Prime Minister made an announcement that come in the new year, that will increase. And I suspect it will go to 5. Because basically that's what you need, 5 and 3. Science subject, a foreign language, and 1 more. Now, this is no small thing. This is a big thing because as a former principal, I could tell you, I saw big men cry. And that is not a joke. I have seen big men cry. And I did tell you a long time ago when NBC was on the other side. I related a story to you. Well, it's not a story. It's a true story. Where a gentleman came. He was in the office. He had I think it's 2 children about to write CSEC. And truth be told, he did not have the money. And he was at his wit's end. And I did tell you that one of the people I admire, even in his death, he's supporting our youth, is the late Sir John Compton, through the Sir John Compton Memorial Fund. His wife, his widow, Lady Janice Compton, always came through. And because Philip J. now, the Honorable Philip J. is paying CXC, I suspect Lady Janice Compton and the foundation, they will begin now, I think, to see how else they can help. But here was this young man crying. He was at his wit's end. He had no money. He had no job at the time. And I listened to him. Well, I knew I was going to help. When I say I, not from my money, but I knew where I could have sourced the funds. And I allowed him to cry. Usually I keep the tissue on the left side of my, I'm not a left-hander, but it's left side. I pulled out the drawer, took out some tissue paper. He wiped his eyes. And I said, Daddy, it'll be okay. It'll be okay. And this is not just my story. Principals around the island would have the same story. Where around this time, parents are struggling to come up with money to pay for the children's CSEC subjects. And some of them very bright. I'm using this word loosely. Very intelligent students, 6 and 7 subjects, and they cannot pay. There are mechanisms, yes, but sometimes it's not a good thing when you see you have reached the stage and as a father, as a mother, you can't pay. So this is no small initiative. This is a big thing for a lot of people. For those of you who have big jobs, and you could do that. And some of you, your company pays for that. But for a lot of people, and I want to applaud the government, this is something that we are doing not for SLP children, not for supporters of children of supporters of the SLP. It's for everybody across the board. And I heard Bradley at one time in the parliament says, what? Don't do that, needs be. No. If you leave it for principals and others, there'll be Coco-Macacree and there'll be the Belrose doctrine applied, because you know what happening? Politicians will come and say, I have this child. No, it's across the board. So we take off all kind of discrimination. And yes, it's happening now. So as registration for CXC begins in October, you have October to December. December 12th, I think, is the deadline to pay. The government, using state funds, will be helping our children. So parents, including the flubber people who go and clap for the crap, it is for you. It will benefit your child. Now, let me tell you how good that is. Parents, you see, if you have that money there already, and the government is already saving you that money, don't spend it. Take my advice, foolish advice. Because in some cases, it's about $350 because they're paying the subject, they're paying the SBA component of that subject. For the orals, it's a $40 extra charge for orals and stuff. So you're paying SBAs, you're paying the subject, you're paying the SBA fee, you're paying the oral fee. All of that is taken care of for you. Okay? So that will add up to about $350. I'm not, what to do. Listen very carefully, including your flub. Don't spend it now. Go up to the school, talk to the principal, get the bursar and the counselor, and say, since I'm already saving that, let me put that towards my child's graduation. So you don't have to think down the road of, no, do it now. The Prime Minister is giving you that saving. If you had already saved it because you're already, selling your icicle and your ice lolly for some of you, and your seaweed jam and your guava jam and guava jelly, and you have the money there, and now that is, the Prime Minister says, no, you don't have to pay that. We're paying that for you. Take that money. Go to the bursar, go to the school. Let the bursar give you a receipt. Deposit that towards your child's graduation. So come next year, June, July, you have nothing to worry about. That is a savings. So listen, ladies and gentlemen, don't worry. It's a big deal, It is a very big deal. So that is one in the bag. So from now on, 4 CSEC subjects will be paid. And that's ching-ching in your pockets. Ching-ching in your pocket. And take my advice, don't spend it. Because if you spend it, come June, July, you have to, May, you have to be scrunching again to look for money for graduation. Go to the school. Say, Mr. Principal, Madam Principal, I want to put that towards my son's graduation, etc., etc. Get your receipt, and you don't have to worry about that. You see how the government has saved you money? You see what you could do with that? It is very impactful. So English, math, science subjects and stuff, great stuff. You see, the Prime Minister is working for you. Our money is to be spent on us and our children, not on foreigners, friends, family, and foreigners. It is to be spent on, and this is very impactful. Let's go to picture number 2 with the nurses. So that is done for you. And I'm coming to the big announcement, the big reveal. We have people just talking out of their heads, Hey, elect me and I'll pay all tuition for. No. We are steady. We are not reckless. We're doing things incrementally. You see how happy these nurses are there? You see how happy these nurses are there? You see how Mr. Pierre is doing his business? Come on. You see how Mr. Pierre is doing his business? So we are taking care of our children in Form 5. The Form 1s, all of them have laptops. So from Form 1 to Form 5, everybody in the school has a laptop. We are paying for CXC, CSEC subjects, 4 CSEC subjects for you. That money you save can go to your graduation in May, June. Don't spend it. And now we are turning our attention to the nurses. Now, not only nurses, all the students going to South Africa, there are bursaries and other financial assistance programs there for you. We're coming to you. Coming to the big reveal. Look at that. We need nurses because don't forget St. Jude is opening very soon. You heard Mr. Kajada say St. Jude can be used now. But if anything else, Mr. Pierre wants, when he goes in, he doesn't want to go into a hotel. Not a hotel, a hospital, but it looks like a hotel. He doesn't go there, halfway measures. When we go inside, when we open St. Jude, it must be open for business across the board. So we need nurses. Under the last administration, what happened? When Cayman City came, all nurses had to be disbanded. Well, they had to resign. And you heard them, I will not play the clip. Maybe we could play the clip on Real Issues this afternoon. All nurses had to resign. They had to reapply. All of them were not taken back. That's why we had so many of our nurses going. I mean, it's okay, the remittances are coming back. They were given contracts, so that means they could not even go to a financial institution to take a loan to buy a vehicle or anything else because no institution gives you a loan if you're on contract. 2-year contracts at a time. That's not good. So we need nurses. And listen what the Prime Minister has done. Because he's counting the cost. He's not reckless. He's not just going to say, we pay tuition for everybody. And then when you ask about that, you're crying. Go play with it. No. We're taking it incrementally. So in year 1, because it's a 4-year nursing program leading to a degree, a nursing degree. How do you call that degree? BSc nursing? I must get the correct designation. Bachelor of Science in Nursing, Bachelor of Nursing, whatever it is. But it's a bachelor's degree. 4 years. And so in the first year, as you just enter, the Prime Minister is what, paying? $2,500. In the second year, another $2,000 that goes towards tuition. You hear how we do now things? $2,500. It gets more difficult. So in the third year, let me ask my technician to put back on the screen here. $5,000 goes towards tuition. And in your 4th year, to close it, $10,000. So the nurses now, you don't have to hurt your head and figure, boy, how I paying that? And you cannot study. No, we want you to be focused on your studies. You heard a politician say about he not trusting y'all because y'all giving the wrong injection. We're not on that. We want y'all focus on your studies. Because you see, when anybody gets sick, we want to make sure that you are there, you are focused and stuff. And we do not want you thinking about how you're going to pay tuition while you are studying. No. We want when you come out there, you are focused, you are well-trained to deliver expert service. And that is how Philip J. Pierre, the Honorable Philip J. Pierre, that is how we do our business. Incrementally. We're taking things one step at a time. So we're dealing with the nurses now, and we're taking care of your tuition. And you heard the Prime Minister, as the economy continues to improve, we will do more. So the nursing program we have taken, and I understand the director of nursing there, the person in charge they're over the moon, because that has never happened. Don't forget, these fellas wanted to defund SAFA, Lewis Community College. You heard him say that he wants to make SAFA a trade school, a hotel trade school. So you could do bellhopping and housekeeping and stuff. He wants to cut the 42 programs. Nursing might be one. Because what? He doesn't want our children educated. You heard him on the thing. No, that's what we're doing. We have to improve the service, the delivery of education. So we have started at the secondary level, universal secondary education. We are equipping our children for the 21st century. We're giving them all the tools that they need so that they can handle AI and everything else. They can code. They're into robotics. You understand? The vision. We are tackling SAFA. I can talk about Unipass, but I want to go to the teachers. So the nurses are taken care of. We're doing things incrementally. Not like a madman that just come and say, free tuition. And when they ask, how are you going to pay for it? You cannot pay for it. You know what I mean? You cannot pay for it. How are you going to pay for it? Free healthcare, insurance. When they ask the fellow, well, they told me not to call him by that name. I'll call him by my other name. Is it true? When they ask, is it true? How are you going to pay for it? At the press conference, what did he say? You're going to go to GPH and try to extort money from that basically. I'm rephrasing, not verbatim. So GPH will pay for it. The same GPH, that's not good. We're not on that. We are side by side. Now, we know for sure who delivers the education. We have to make sure our teachers are well taken care of. Well, they got their 14% increase. They got their back pay, and some of them got a hefty back pay. Some of them, is a wheelbarrow they had to take to go to the bank and stuff. And what is the Prime Minister says? Says, no, I know you guys put your hand in your pockets all the time. And he understands that because he keeps saying, my mother was a teacher, so he must have seen his mother taking things from the house to go to school with, to give to those who need. Because I'm telling you, teachers, they feed children, they sponsor children. Some of them, when they make breakfast, they have extra because they know that child has nothing. This child has nothing. The school feeding program, I know schools, the canteen, they have an open bill in the canteen because when a child comes to school without anything to it, what does the principal say? Can I do it? Go to the canteen, I give a note. Please give breakfast or lunch to that child. Put it on the bill. And sometimes when you subtract from the rent, nothing. You understand? Thank God we have an expanded school feeding program. So those children who at home, things rough, they can come to school and get a very hot meal. There's a school feeding program at the primary school. I know about that. That's from years. And I have to give Sir John credit for that. You have to give credit where credit is due. But we have taken that. Because I saw somebody write, we need to have that at the second. It is there at the secondary school. And so when I left, the government was sponsoring 50 children a day. Now that's in all secondary schools. And from what I had, it's expanded. 50 children a day. They get a balanced meal. I could tell you one thing, aside. We used to give those children fruit juices. We had the agro-processing plant at Babono. Go there, buy this in pulp, sour, whatever it is. The children didn't want that. Soft drink. So I told them, no. No soft drinks. Soft drink is not on that guard. You have to learn to use the fruit juices. But for some reason, our children, they like the soda. But I wasn't giving them soda. So, that school feeding program has been expanded. And teachers now have $1,400. I'm not sure if they got it in August. If not, that means they're getting it this month end. I must check a teacher, What? Get a little raise in that. $1,400 so that they can get things to put in the class. Because they do that all the time, especially primary school teachers. Man, primary school teachers spend a lot of money decorating the classrooms, When you pass in the classrooms, you see all kind of things. When they travel to the States, so the Honorable Philip Gispe says, I have to help my teachers. I have to make my teachers happy. 1,400. A vote against that, a vote against this government means you're voting against that. I think video 4, the last one I sent you, let me play that because we're coming to an end. This is what we are doing. And there is more to come, much more. Let me see if that clip can run there. Listen to a testimonial from a teacher.
Everybody gets a heart.
For the beginning of the term, I was able to get some basic materials to essentially beautify my classroom so that the girls were more comfortable and could feel more welcomed coming in at the beginning of September.
So everybody lend a hand.
It's very pretty and I like it.
So the allowance was a positive move. For my classroom, I enjoy having a beautiful setting in my classroom, so I made sure that I went even more out for my students this time.
My classroom, I really like the decoration.
Growing together, it's better when everyone cares.
So some of the things that I invested some of the funds into purchasing of curtains, putting up personalized rules for the classroom. So I bought the materials for me to get that done. I set up a reading corner. I got rugs for my desk for the students. So in terms of beautifying the classroom, I was able to do that, and I think that the girls felt welcomed when they came in September.
Really great things in the class. We learn more and it gets further, especially mathematics.
We've got a lot to be thankful for.
I'm a big fan of reading. I love my students to love reading. So I think it helped me to make my library a lot better. I got to order some more books that my past students were very interested in. And so I got to replenish my library a lot. It's much better, and so I did that.
The allowance has positively impacted my teaching experience in a number of ways. For example, there was an instance where there was an accident between two friends where one threw one's lunch down, and so I was able to have that student purchase lunch again because it was an accident, it wasn't something malicious, and oftentimes we are left to be the ones to supplement whatever it is that the students have already been given if they're not able to purchase on their own. If they're missing money, if an accident happens, it's left to the teacher to give them the support, and so it helped me in that way.
On the days when it's feeling
I'm grateful, very grateful actually.
you don't ever know. Well, let's be thankful for our friends and family and grateful for the air that we breathe and appreciate everything that we have today.
This is how the SLP administration moves. We invest in our children. And you heard the testimony from the teacher, you know. I'm not the one saying it. It's not propaganda. It's not misinformation. It's not disinformation. You know where you get that? You get that on another station, you know, if another fella, you know, allowing all kinds of disinformation. This is just the facts. And Philip J. Pied, he did not have to do that. You know, we know we're expecting 6, but when he got up and he says, no, 1/4, 6 is not enough. That's just what, 200 and something US. But teachers understand, you know, what it is to care for children. And the Honorable Prime Minister, coming from a background where his father was a policeman. I know Irving Springer and a lot of people don't like to hear that, but that's a fact. He's not the one who used to take up the AK-47 and go and fight crime. He equips the police. His mother was a teacher, so we'd have seen his mother cooking extra bakes and, you know, making extra sandwiches to feed the students in her class. And so, the money, our money, is for our children. So he has given them lap devices, electronic devices. He's paying for CSEC fees. He's telling the nurses, we need you. We need nurses in our country. We need to equip St. Jude. We need them at OKEU. We need them at the Betty Wells. No, it's the parish. I'll get the full name. We need you there. And we need you to do the right thing, not like what this fella, what's his name? Is it true? Talking about bad injection. No. We trust our nurses. We love our nurses. We respect our nurses. And because of that, we have to treat you with dignity and respect. And we want you focused on the hard work because it's hard work. We don't want you thinking about how you're going to pay. We're paying that for you incrementally. And I'm sure that as things continue, the Prime Minister will say, listen, we have dealt with the nurses. We can handle that because, you know, Wayne Girard is in the Ministry of Finance. He's the one doing all that thing, you know. While the Prime Minister does, you know, Wayne Girard is there counting and crunching the numbers and putting things in place. You know, he just did the sovereign wealth fund there and the other things, and he's crunching the numbers. And you heard him say, now that the economy is very stabilized, you'll be seeing more of him. So as Wayne Girard and the Prime Minister begin to, you know, handle the finances, I am sure they will tackle other areas, the B.Ed program, you know, and the other areas at SAFA where, or they say, listen, man, maybe we can increase the financial assistance to our students. Already we have Unipass. I will talk about that maybe today's what? Tuesday, on Thursday, because I'm still on education, Unipass and the others. We'll deliver that. How can we increase financial assistance to our students? So, this is what we are doing. So when you hear the noise and they have boards and they're talking all kind of nonsense about this and that, no, let us remain focused. Let us remind ourselves, because some of you forget Some of you forget. Don't forget a simple one. There's no VAT on medication. I'd even forgotten that. The Prime Minister, he had to do whatever he had to do. No VAT. So when this fellow's talking about 2.5 levy on everything, no, you don't pay that on medication. That is VAT. Well, no VAT on that. So we're spending our money on our children. So that is a focus on education. And the big one, we have time? We have 1 minute. Well, we have a 1 minute clip there of the video one. The big reveal, and then I shall end. Big announcement that was made on Sunday.
Every child, after we've won the next election, we will guarantee free early childhood education for every child born in St. Lucia. Every child will have an opportunity to go to an early childhood institution so they can be nurtured to take their place in the society and be citizens of St. Lucia. So look out for that, because we coming. Early childhood education for every child. Early childhood education for every child.
You heard it? You heard the big reveal? Early, so universal secondary education for every child. Now, already, I think 11 or 12 schools, primary schools, have been retrofitted to take in children, but there are other private schools, and we have to take care of that, because psychology tells you that's where we have to get them. That is the formative years. We have to take them there. And so the Prime Minister, not reckless, I've told you, he and Wayne, they have crunched the numbers, and next year, all children, early childhood education will be free. You see how we do in our business? We are spending our money on our children. Now, Mr. Nigel Nicholas, you heard the bell ring in the background there? He's telling me now it's time to go. I'm in half an hour. I'm enjoying this little program there. But I just wanted to show you, just in education, how the Prime Minister is putting us first. Our children must come first. And early childhood education, universal early childhood education, is next on the list. And we have to applaud the St. Lucia Labour Party and the administration, the cabinet of ministers, for their foresight in doing right by the nation's children. I've come to an end. Let me thank Mr. Nigel Nicholas. Now, the two of us meet every morning and we're training.
Chelsea for life.
Well, it's a Chelsea for life, Lapo team, Manu. But at least we train every morning. We meet every morning and remind each other, let us be on time for the program. So, and we were on time. So, I'll see you again on Tuesday. Tuesday, I'll continue. Thursday, oh my God, man, boy, retirement not good, So I'll see you on Thursday again when we'll have a little discourse, just reminding you and showing you what we have been able to accomplish in 4 years. So until then, see you this afternoon in Shelton. Adios.